All righty. All right, I'm gonna get started. So farming, what is it and what does it do? Let me just kind of give you a quick overview of what we'll be using here. It is our Title Toolbox program. You guys probably heard me talk about it before in the team meetings, but basically Title Toolbox is a very robust tool for us to deploy to our clients, like yourselves, to pull property profiles, property information, farming, and net sheets. I will go over the farming portion today, but if you guys want, I can also touch on the other stuff that we talked about as well. But here we go. If you don't already have an account, I know Michael doesn't. I'm not sure about you, Eric, but if you would like one, I can definitely set you guys up. Just send me an email at the end of the class and I'll get that started. So Title Toolbox features. The nice thing about Title Toolbox is it actually allows you to create forms. And when you create your forms, it actually saves the form for you and it updates the form for you, which means that you don't have to go and redo the form after you save it. When somebody sells, moves, within property records change, it's going to be displayed and shown in your farm, and you'll also get an email as well. Nationwide access. This system allows you to pull information on a national level. So if you have a client that's moving out to Texas or North Carolina and wants information out there, you can also look that up for them as well. Okay. And then reports, again, profiles, tax bills, mostly Orange County. This is where we can put that information for you as well on here. You can search, again, nationwide. Nice thing about the system, I did this for Michael recently, was if you guys decide on an area, a section of town, a zip code, a city even, you can help identify what the turnover ratio is. And what that means is that it tells you how many homes are being sold within a 12-month period to kind of identify and see if that area is considered busy or whatnot. Now, with inventory as low as it is, and with real estate activity as crazy as it is, it's not as relevant in my opinion. But at the same time, though, it's nice to kind of know what's going on in the area, at least for talking points when you meet with your clients or just people that you're farming with. All right, and then finally, 1031 exchange. This is not something we're going to go over today, but we do have a company that we work with for that kind of stuff. And all right, so let me change my screen to the system that we're going to use. Perfect. You guys still with me?
Still with you, Ben.
Perfect. All right. So this is Title Toolbox, right? You log in and you get to this screen here. So a couple of things here, just right off the top, you have property search, you have farming, statistics, buyer cost estimate. This really is kind of confusing, but you really want to use is the net sheet, and that gives you both the buyer and the seller as well. Here's a drop down that allows you to pull up information or use other types of searches as well. Here you go. And then finally, there's also phone numbers and emails that are available for purchase, right? A phone number is 5 cents, an email is 7 cents. Not a lot of money, but it's something that you can utilize to farm when you establish a farm. Now, farming, let's just talk about that real quick. Michael, you heard me give you this speech the other day, but basically farming is exactly what the word means, right? I mean, just like fruit or vegetables, you plant a seed, you water it, you come back, and eventually you can harvest the fruit or vegetable. Same thing with real estate, right? Most people, when you hear about a farm, they've been in it, 10 years, 15 years. 1 year, 2 year, whatever it is. But the idea is that there's some time involved, and there's also consistency that you're going to have to market to these specific areas, your farm, and stick with it, right? A lot of real estate agents don't realize that just because you knocked on someone's door once, or you send out a mailer once every 2 months, you're not going to get very far. Okay. It's like any other sales, you know, people do business with you. People want to do business with you because they know you, like you, and trust you. And, you know, for most people, you're not going to be able to be on somebody's, you know, good side, or someone that they trust on the first meeting. Same thing with mailers, right? I mean, another example I like to use it is I live in an area that's pretty surrounded by grocery stores. Okay. I got a Vons, I got an Albertsons, I got a Costco, of course, I got Whole Foods, Amazon Fresh, even. They're all right here. Sprouts is another farmer's market within a mile radius, right? But every single Wednesday, no matter what happens, you know, rain or shine, I still get a mailer from them. And obviously, I know they sell produce, they sell meats and so on. But what they're doing is, you know, they're being consistent. And that one day and I never look at them, by the way, but that one day, if I'm looking for a steak or something, you know, I want to find a good deal, right? We all do. So I will go through the paper just to do that. But again, I know what they sell. You know, it's pretty obvious, but their consistency is what's gonna help drive me to their store if I'm in a need. And it's the same thing with real estate, right? You got to stay top of mind, and that's where you're finding most success. So farming is not just the mailers or door knocking and all that stuff, right? It's also to be a fixture in a neighborhood, right? If you're going to call on Larchmont, for example, Larchmont area, you know, learn about the area, learn and keep up to date of what's sold recently, what's listed recently. Does that property have a pool? You know, does it have an HOA, for example? You know, does, you know, that restaurant that just closed down, or that restaurant that just opened, or that store that just opened, like that's the stuff that helps you build your case that you're not just a neighborhood expert, but you're a part of the community. And I think people that are successful in their farms or in anything that they do, they insert themselves and they show up. And that's really the key to be successful in this business. Okay, any questions about that? Pretty straightforward, right? All right, so let's go straight to the farming concept, okay? So right here, farming, click on this. My go-to whenever I farm, I use boundary search. All right, but we can go through all these and just discuss them. Radius search is basically drawing a radius. For most people, appraisers, for example, they like to pull a quarter-mile radius, like to pull a, you know, a certain mile radius because they're looking for comps and so on. For an area search, this is where you would go and you want to find, let's just say, you know, all of Beverly Hills or all of Larchmont, all, you know, with your zip codes. You can search via zip code, you can search via city. So let's just do that for an example right now. Put in the zip code. This will pull everything in this area, 4,300 properties. And in this search, you can also decide if you want to go after, you know, owner occupied or not. You can go after SFRs, condos. There's a host of other things here, right? You can go triplexes, duplexes, quadplexes, multifamilies, you know, vacant land, commercial. So the list goes on and on, you know, depending on what you're looking for your client, for example. And what I like to do for when I farm, I like to look for people that want to sell. And in that case, you know, you go to custom filters, and what you have is you have out-of-state owners, you have empty nesters, you have next sellers. Let me just explain these to you real quick. Out-of-state is exactly what it means, right? People that live out of state, and they have a property, you know, in this case, Larchmont area, and they live in Virginia, right? They're probably not getting enough love or any love at all from a real estate agent. unless they have a family member that's in the business. I mean, no one's marketing to them, no one's talking to them, no one's door knocking them because obviously they're not there. So, be a resource for them. Let them know, get them up to date. If the property looks like it's in disarray, give them a call or send them a letter, let them know, and that you're happy to assist if if it needs be, right? To kind of be their extension while they're in a different state. And that is stuff that you can do and eventually open up some doors for you. Okay. Next sellers. Next sellers is based on the computer's algorithm plus or minus average home ownership in a specific area. Now this is going to be different where you live, where I live, Larchmont, and so on. Some places are going to be 7 years, some places are going to be 3 years, and this will identify those homeowners. Nice thing about this here, you can strategically farm to these people because, again, based on the computer, they might be selling soon. Non-owner is another one that's good for people that have renters in there, right? Sometimes people are in the time frame where they don't want to be a landlord anymore. So you reach out to them and play that script with them just to give them a way out, right? And then finally, empty nesters. This is a great one. 30 plus years of ownership. And the nice thing about them is these people are usually older. These people usually have their house paid off as well. So, when they're older, you can kind of sell them on the idea and education of Prop 19 that they can take their tax basis with them, right? Wherever they want to go now, up and down the state, be with grandchildren or retire or whatnot, and that's going to lead to another sale once you sell their current property, for example. So that's a great one as well. Let's do an example. 19 homes in all of Larchmont area. If you go to next sellers, you'll see this narrow down quite a bit. There's only 139 properties identified by the computer that they think are going to sell soon. So let's just say hypothetically, you don't have a budget, to market to 4,000 homes, obviously, and you wanted to do more of this targeted marketing. This is what you would do, right? These 139 homes will probably be more advantageous, for you to market to, because in a way they've already been identified that they might be selling soon. Okay, keep that in mind. And then let's just say we want to change this to empty nesters. Again, the empty nesters sell, the play would be Prop 19, retirement, and so on and so on. Capital gains equity, you can take up to $500,000 in capital gains without being taxed. We talked about this yesterday via the team meeting. And some people just don't know that, right? So give them an option, and look at that, 527 homes that you can market to for that as well. So you can narrow it down. Any questions on these specific filters? Okay, moving on. All right, so that's the area search, and these filters, by the way, works for all searches, right? All searches. Let me just go ahead and show you real quickly what these radius search is, and I'm just gonna zoom in around here and just put a radius down, right? If you click on this default, it'll give you can type in the miles you want. You can just type in whatever you want in here and hit next. Hit count, and again here, oh, I know why, because let me just do a clear search. So that little radius gave me 1,900 homes. Okay. And again, this is not something that most people use, right? The one I like to use again is the boundary search. Okay. So we did this yesterday, the other day, Michael. 118 North Larchmont. I'll just put that in here right now. Zoom in with your mouse to the area. So the boundary search allows you to really pinpoint where you want to go. So now I'm drawing a boundary around the area. And what I'm doing here is drawing this boundary. Now everything that's highlighted is going to come up in my search. If I hit next, it'll tell me how many properties are in there. Okay. Get count, 803 properties. That's a lot of properties. Once I have this, and this is what I want to start farming or looking up the data, I can hit download new records, right? And on the left side of the screen, you'll see the map, and the right side, you'll see the data. So this is the data that we just downloaded from this purple area, right? Now, let's just say you want to see the stats. Hit dynamic stats over here, and it'll give you the last 12 months of activity within the highlighted section. Of the 800 homes, 30 homes sold in that 12-month period. Here's how many non-owner occupied, meaning that how many renters are in the area, and this is the turnover ratio. And here are the averages and the specs of the property. 9 bed, 9 baths. Wow. Okay. If you wanted to locate, let's go back to edit search, and in here you can again change however you want this to look like. In terms of filters, you can even put in when it was purchased, so you can go in the last X months, last 3 months only that you want to see, for example, just like the MLS in a way, right? And then what I'll do here, I'll just show you guys under Premier Data is where you can purchase the phone numbers and emails. By clicking on Premier Data, it drops you into the phones and emails tab. And here you can decide to purchase them or not, both and or one. Hit get count and give you an estimate of the price. Now you will only be charged on the price that on the dollar amount that was actually found, right? All of this stuff is public information, and there is no like depository for it really. The system goes in and tries to find it. If they find it, they'll deliver it to you. If they don't have it, then you'll get a refund for the money that was not used. So for example, if this list was 10, they would charge you 10, for 10 phone numbers up front, and then it would drop off and give you the real pricing charge to the account once they delivered the phone numbers and emails. Phone numbers and emails take anywhere between 5 minutes to an hour to gather. So, it's pretty quick as well. Okay. And so the question for you guys, farming, how many properties do you guys think you guys should be farming if you were to establish a farm?
100 to start
100?
out.
Okay, that's good. I mean, I personally, 100 is better than someone saying 1,000. Okay, and I'll tell you why. Because 100 is actually is good. I think you can up that to maybe 250, 300 is probably the average. I think I would recommend to most agents up front, only because budget wise, if you had 1,000 homes, for example, and you're sending out one postcard a week, or just one postcard a month, that's $500. Right, just based on 50 cents per stamp, and that doesn't even include printing and whatnot yet. So again, the key here, guys, is consistency. You do not want to, lose your budget. You do not want to force yourself out of a situation by not being consistent. Now, if you did say 300 homes, that's $150 that you will be sending out once a week. The next week you can do a door knocking, newsletter or something, drop something off. If you bought emails and phone numbers, you can follow up that the next week with a call and or a text and or an email, and consistently do that for a couple months and see what happens. And that's a hell of a lot better than again, doing it once every month or two and then decide to give up and move on to something else, right? And then I think that's for a lot of people, not just in real estate, just in general. We're not focused, and we don't commit to it, and a lot of time is wasted and effort is wasted because of it. Okay. Let me show you guys how to download this data. So once the data is here and you want to download it, go to export, go to farm, or you can custom it, but usually I just do farm. It's easy, and hit export button. And this is your data, just like that, right? If you wanted to customize it where you don't want like the longitude and latitude, that type of information, you can do that, but you can always just come in here and just delete it as well. So this is CRM ready, meaning that it's meant to be imported to a CRM, a contact relationship management system, so that you can follow up. For you guys, built into KW is the command system. Drop this in there. Drop this in there, and if you get their emails too, start marketing to them via the email with the neighborhood nurture. Okay, this tells you what the property type is, if it's occupied or not, right here. The names, of course, and when they purchased and whatnot, and how much they purchased for. Okay, and then if the property is not owner occupied, it's going to have another address that's their mailing address versus where they live. That makes sense? Because they don't live there, so they must have a different address. That's how you kind of know if anything else. Let me see what else. Okay, any questions on this data? Okay, another thing is you can also download into a different format if you wanted to. So let's just say you want to go do a walking farm or a 5-line farm or labels even. They're all here. They're all, just click the button and it'll take you to a format that's already created for you. So this is a short walking farm, meaning that it's going to be printable on a regular sheet of paper, and you can actually walk around the neighborhood with this packet and start taking down notes if you will. Let me see. I think the Zoom is making it a little bit longer to download, but typically it's pretty fast. We do something else because a walking farm will have like 2 or 3 on a page, but let's just do a 5-line PDF. This should be faster. Okay, I don't know why it's not doing it right now. Maybe something's off, but all right. Any other questions regarding this farm tool of this title toolbox? If not, I'm going to just go ahead and show you guys the next sheet real quick. Okay, net sheets. Net sheets you can always request from escrow, of course. But if you're ever in a bind on a weekend and you guys wanted to do your own and give somebody a estimate, again, these are all just estimates. You can just do them here. So let's just pick 217 Arden, since I already have the address here. Okay. And you hit this net sheet button. Okay. And it will calculate everything for you. All your fees, your broker fees, your listing agent fees. You can, and this is all changeable, right? This can be customized to 1%, for example, if that was the case. And then if there were loans and encumbrances, it will pull that information for you as well, based on what's recorded. We don't know exactly what the amount is, but you know, it'll be an estimate based on the on what's recorded. And then once you're done with putting it all in, you can do a generate button, and you can show this to your client to give them an idea of what they would net, how much the proceeds would be. Comes in this nice little graphic that you can turn in. Okay. So that's the net sheet. Let's do a property profile, since I have you guys on here as well. You can, again, either put it in here and do the drop down, or you can hit the property search button and do that. Let's just do the drop down here, since I already have it up. Property profile with comps. And by the way, if you guys are looking for like off-market deals that happened, for example, on the MLS, it's not going to be on there, right? Because they're off-market, but they will show in comps in this system, because it's going to pull everything regardless if it was on the market or not. So keep that in mind. Here are the comps that you can change the. You're going to go back 6 months, 12 months, for example, instead of 12 months. Hit update results. Okay. And then hit generate profile. Just wait while it does the thing, and the profile will pop up. And this is what you would take, you know, to a listing appointment, for example. Again, normally it's faster. It's just Zoom. I think it just takes up the bandwidth or something. Here we go. Once it's done, hit view report. Okay. And it gives you all the details, APN number, the owner, who prepared it. If it was you that did it, you have your name on here. You'll have the owner of the property. You know, you have the characteristics, lot size, units, garage size, sometimes beds and bath, for example. And then, you know, the recent sale and loan. So this tells you that this is a sale type F, which means full value transfer, no loans, and they bought this for 1.290. Okay, so you have all that information here. Here's the assessed value that the computer thinks it's worth. Obviously, this is just a reference point, a benchmark for you guys to kind of get an idea. Obviously, as a real estate agent, you guys have the capability via the MLS to generate the comps correctly. But then again, in today's market, you know, things are selling for 400,000 over asking price. So there's no rhyme or reason for that either. But, you know, it's all there. Everything's here that you will need to speak with a potential buyer and or seller intelligently. You know, for a buyer, you would have this information with you as well if they're interested in putting a bid into the property, into the offer. You know, knowing what you're looking at, knowing how much they owe, knowing you know, sometimes that can help you kind of dictate what you want to offer. Again, in this market, it's a little bit different, but in the past, for example, if somebody owes, you know, $100,000 on a $120,000 house, you kind of have an idea that they might be looking to sell pretty badly or something, you know. So little things like that. But yeah, so this is a property profile, and I think that's it. Any questions, you guys? No? Yeah. And I know it's a lot. It's a little bit intimidating in terms of, you know, the system, but it's just like everything else. Just go in, play with it, get familiar with it, and see if this is for you, right? I mean, if you don't want to do this, the farming and the stuff yourself, no problem. Reach out to me. I'm happy to have myself or my team, you know, put the farm that you want for you together as well. My information is in the chat, so go ahead and email, you know, email or text me there. But yeah, if that's it, I'm this presentation is done.